All right, yeah, back in again, back in again. Yeah, so yeah, brought me up on Pip. Oh, I was about to say Big Papa, Big Papa. Okay, we just doing Big Papa. We just going ahead and keep it on Papa was Rolling Stone for right now. So that's the reason why Eugene didn't want me to call him Papa. You know what I mean? We got it. We got it. So basically, what we have in the background right now is pretty much what's going on in present day right now too. You know, got a couple of people went and posted up here across the street of where I'm at right now. But what's even more, the changing of the guard and everything is uh, there was a lot more Mexicans and everything, Spanish that was inside of the place where I live at right now. There's a lot more of them that was like on the payroll to go ahead and fuck with me. Right now they moved out, and these people right here, they now it's more blacks and everything, you know. Not even from the state, not even from our state, but they moved in like 3 different couples moved in, and so therefore, and to include the lady downstairs is doing a direct energy weapon from the bottom, you know, and she stays, she goes to sleep during the day. She's asleep and she's up all night working it. She's up all night working it. And so we just had another couple move in, and I guess they, I used to pick up different change depending on where I'm at, off the street or what have you not. So they put out some pennies out there to go ahead and see I was going to pick the pennies up and everything. And it's just, it's funny as fuck. everybody, how everybody is, I don't know what the mental, it's not even mental gymnastics. I don't know what it is. Shit, tell you the truth, I really don't. It's funny, is what it is. It's funny, is what it is. And so, getting back to, like I was saying, as far as going back to Austin and the astrocartography, all right? The astrocartography, and I believe it exists for sure. Everything you're talking about is really on point. Okay? Because I felt it myself. And I went to different places. I felt it myself, and I measured it by different other means than the astro. But I totally resonate with. Now this is the humdinger though, the where people don't understand, or people don't calculate these things into it, or if they do calculate these things into it, then they have a daredevil fucking, this the line right here, they're not gonna stay back here. They're gonna be right up on this line and then say, whoop, 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 cross the fucking line every fucking time. And this is what's gonna happen, because you might be placing yourself inside of a good place, okay, for those best things to happen to you. But when you go ahead and just because you don't fuck with little girls, okay, doll houses, but you want to go fuck with a grown man house or a grown woman's house, you don't think motherfucking shit gonna come back and zap your ass because you crossed over the fucking line? You don't think that astrocartography points that you chose to go to, you don't think that if it's going to give you it's a positive and negative in everything, bro. Sis, everybody. It's a positive and negative in everything. So you don't think that just because you chose a certain place to be and your feng shui, the way you, maybe if you built the building the way it was correct and everything supposed to be, and it correct, because the way if you're in America or any of the architectural worlds that we have established right now that are not of the I want to say antediluvian, but I'm not even going to go that far back. We're going to say, but not of the uh, what's the word right now? Not of the old world, especially like even like the Colosseum right here. The Colosseum. I believe it was ones in New York, or even the ones that we have here, as far as LA Coliseum, or the different places that we use for whether it be large churches or gatherings for sports and everything. Those right there were built with astronomical for a plus. You know what I'm saying? For that feng shui to be a plus. You know, the way the feng shui is to me shui, to sway. Okay, so that's the reason why a lot of people do have channels to go ahead 622 on the clock to go ahead and tell you where to even study on your in your square house, or don't go on the porch and do this, don't go over that and do that, and what time to go do these things, because of the way that the architecture is. So if that's done just in the architecture, then you go into the spirit realm and you go ahead and you fuck off and you talk about my house, or let's like some monopoly money or some shit, you know what I'm saying? All of that shit right there is gonna come and zap you so fucking fast, and it doesn't have to do with little girls. That's grown man shit, grown woman stuff. It doesn't have to do it. So a lot of, well, I'm not gonna say a lot. Once you go ahead and do a little bit more thinking on what they're doing, when they're doing it, is it gonna be worth it? What are going to be the repercussions? What is going to be the daredevil portion? You know, are you going to be able to go? Are you going to be maimed? Are you going to be let? Is that energy weapon that you're pointing at somebody right now? Is it going to fucking come back and zap your own nut sack and energy and distort your whole mind processing thoughts to where we might go ahead and love to go in and out, of different uh, Sudoku fucking games, this, that, book, as big bookworm, We like to dig wells, we like to fucking jump off a daredevil hang glider, and even do it off with a fucking motorcycle. Okay? And all those things are going to come back really fast this time. Why? Because again, this is again, this impression of time. This is 197. Starting off for 19, 7th year mark right now. It's the 9 year. 10 is over again. 10 tortoises. Okay, if the 10 tortoises, nothing can change. Nothing will be able to distort that if we have done this in correctness. And even though a lot, especially those of us who have been doing our due diligence to 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 remember, to remember. Okay, and that is not just as far as in a cognitive sense. That is also in a spiritual sense. That is lending, your Allah, your arm, leg, back to all of our meridian, all of our generationals, to go ahead and let them come through us and everything, to go ahead and speak to be, to feel. It might not be something that we even want to feel. It might not be something that we want to eat. You know, that's why you have authors, and you go ahead and you like the guy that came the other day. Actually, two things. Well, the guy that came the other day to go ahead and spray the roaches and everything, and he was, I think I spoke on this before, he moved into a house, I forget what city it was in, he said, but, there's somebody living there already while he was living there, and she came and she would move different things and let him know she wasn't benevolent, she wasn't malevolent, you know what I'm saying? She was benevolent in her teaching, and she was just moving with it, and he would hear little laughter and everything, and all kinds of stuff. So he had to, his son was there. The door would slam, all kinds of stuff. So he had to go ahead and lend his body, even though he had 14 generations within it himself and everything. Now he's on somebody's real property. So when people talk about my house, we're going to understand. We're going to understand. And depending on whether or not the ancestors want to be, if they like you, you'll understand. You'll understand. So I wouldn't call my house if it wasn't my house. Or any type of thing, my energy, your energy, if it wasn't your energy, those things that people are picking up right now that are not theirs and everything at all whatsoever to even put a hand on, and they're taking them and utilizing them for, the fiat, for the the bougie, the things that make you go, whether it be a or all those type of things. So one should really, really, really take into consideration all these things. And even the OG right now, it hit me because, like I said, we those are 72. Every 72 years, the Earth itself goes into a retardation. And so, being that you are made of the Earth, one degree, it's a retardation. Okay, so being that you become 72 years of age, that's one thing right there. But then, like she's talking about now, the moon and the sun being square, and it's not going to be good. And it's not going to be good at 80, and the first time in 80 years, that's the octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Listening to it. Okay, that's your 8 by 8 again. That's Mars. That's your chessboard. Your 8 by 8 again. Mercury moving. So that's going to affect your ching ching. Your ching ching, meaning like, if I thought this right here, did it come out right? Ching ching. Did it? All these movements and so forth, your the shares, shares of the collective, shares of the collective and everything. And most of the time, everybody's been working with the Apple or the iPhone. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of droids. I get it. But for those who are, that's what she wanted me to go ahead and get in contact with me and get onto right away with these iPhones. Even though the Androids, you'd need to be savvy in everything. You need to be savvy in everything. So it's not a this or that. You have to be well-rounded in a lot of things right now. But the main thing, the main frame that one should be rounded is in our thinking. It's in our thinking. And Are we going to make it back in time if we go across that line? Are we going to make it back in time? Okay? What's going to be the consequences for even stepping over the fucking line, period? Period. What's going to be the consequences? Because as they say, it says 28 starts and everything is woe to those with foolish pride, the drunkard even, the drunkard. Those who be drunk on, whatever the fuck it, drunk on whatever. You could be drunk on fucking word vomit. Yeah, right. You could be drunk on all kinds of stuff. But who shall we call to teach? It says, again, like he says, line upon line. First of all, before we get to lines and everything, let's go to precepts. Those precepts upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, Tzav, is that of the changes and so forth. Change upon change. You know what I'm saying? Change of what? These precepts. During these different changes we're sit up here talking about. And what we're focusing on right now, like we're still talking about the square, that she still talking, that Ms. Molly was telling us on this, and it's going to be hard. Especially, she said, for those of the earth degrees, that of Taurus, right? That of Virgo, and that of Capricorn. It's going to be hard. So these are some things just to go ahead and think about, How you doing? All right. Doing good?
Yeah.
That's good. Yep. Good. Yeah, these are some things to go ahead and talk about, think about, be about, not just act, but really sincerely be about, within your own self. And I do mean self in that of our extra low frequencies, to raise those up. I do mean within our own self, and then we have to own, whatever it is that we put our hands to. But if you're not the owner of it, that's going to be a line too that one should actually think about, should have thought about before they went ahead and crossed. Yeah. So the OG, he's got an OG partner I've been keeping me abreast with somewhat, and he's 72 years old. He went inside and he's got a motorcycle accident, so his insides has got all jacked up and everything. You know what I'm saying? Got a big old cut inside, and then on top of that, he was smoking cigarettes and smoking that weed down there, and it was crippling him over and everything. Then I didn't know that he had been taken to the hospital, and they put something up in his bladder and said that he might have to have his colon removed, or colonoscopy and everything. And so I've been going down here checking on him, and mostly, honestly, really soaking up wisdom and everything. And it's been pretty difficult for us to, converse and everything on a lot of things, because 1907 on the clock again. That was part 2. Because of that, again, that as we are the Yeshua, the fluid, the covenant even. Fluid is, within his own system that we're sitting up here talking about. And the colonizer, so they stuck something in him, in his penis and everything, to where, he had to go ahead and utilize and urinate from there and everything, And I hadn't seen him for a minute, last time he went to the doctor, he went ahead, 1948, wow. Last time he went to the doctor, they went ahead, he was pissed off because he wanted to pull it out. So I told him to drink some water, you know, because it was kind of yellow. You know, get it clean before you even go. And he said he wasn't trying to hear it, you know. But I told him to go to the doctor, you know, because he said he went to just the emergency and everything, but he wanted to go. So he did go to the doctor. 2016 on the clock. That's when we started this little thing on the outside here, and he turns out to be doing better. He went to go see the doctor again, but the thing about it, that he even stopped smoking the cigarettes, and I still picked him up, you know, for right now and again. But he stopped smoking the cigarettes, stopped smoking the weed, and his skin, oh my goodness, his hue is fucking like beautiful fucking red, beautiful red. And then we got back into our conversation again. And he was, because he stayed on it every single time, I kid you not. He say he get on the bus, and he like wondering like, what the hell is this jealous motherfucker looking at me for? You know, why the fuck they what the fuck? You know, he what the fuck? You know, so I'm telling him the same shit, you know, because you know, I don't know about the whole place where we're at, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling him the same shit, same things. I'm telling him the same things is happening, you know, with me. And you know, so we're talking about different places because he was Vietnam, you know, and so, you know, he was able to go ahead and talk, and I was able to go ahead and share a little bit too, and we got through it. We got through it, you know, and so he's like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that." But then, you know, a little. So this is what I saw, just in that conversation alone, just this last time. The cigarettes and that weed and the water that went ahead through cleared up a lot of stuff to where he was able to just receive. See, we can't receive a lot of things. We can't. Why? Because the spirits, whether it be in the chemical form and that of the, you know, what we sip on and what have you not, we can't receive, so we don't even want to hear nothing. It's like, and it's not even us, it's the spirit that's inside of us. That's what they call them, fucking spirits. So I saw that right there, and then he went on and said, "This black motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucking nigga, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying?" He said, "I ain't like that. That ain't me." And so on a deep real, you know, we do got the same hue. His is even redder. You know, I showed him. I was telling him, no, we're not the same people. We're not the same. And he's talking about, you know, even a ex-wife who actually is married, you know, who actually is married and everything, but they still got a good relationship, wanted to come and stay with him. But that's after most likely looking and seeing his energy level back up. And he saw it already. He went into it. He said, "No." I said, And he went and told me some other stories and everything, you know, to where it's not a no, but a hell no on it. And so all of that right there was beautiful, 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 beautiful. Even at, like I say, 72. So even with everything that's going on right now, I think he could reverse the colonoscopy and everything, the operation and everything. I think he can reverse it personally, you know? But that's everybody's inside our own mind what we can do. That's inside of our own mind. But then where I go to the lady I get my moringa from, and Sage and everything, you know, she's Spanish and everything, Mexican, and she fucking, you know, we've been together, we've traveled sometimes and everything before, you know, because whenever I come in, you know, I come in and stop, and she stops, she wanted to talk and everything, you know, so we talk, and she was telling me how she had 3 boys and 3 girls, and none of them fuck with her, and she got a leg that's, you know, that's been eaten up, it's been eaten up to like the bone. It's been eaten up and everything up to the calf. Even parts of the calf has been eaten up. And so she sits up there and rubs it and everything, and you know, and and so I had, went in to go ahead and look at just what kind of remedies and everything we do for her, because rubbing her legs and all that type of stuff, and her knees and everything, and she has a little bit of weight on her, and so we started, like that brother's name? What's the brother's name on what's his on Radiohead? He had introduced another brother, a young brother and everything, for the very first time. And his name, I had his name, because inside of his name, you see every damn thing. It was Dio Grassi. I can't remember right now. You see his everything. But he had a nice little flow too. He had a nice flow, where he, computed up and everything. Knowing his astrology, knowing many different facets too. I was it was a beautiful sight, beautiful tree, you know. Uh, and the very same thing, no, they wanted to just go ahead and give a birthday, and they said, no, what is the name? What is the name and everything? Because the name is where it's at. Shemot, the second book, his name's Genesis. Exodus. His name's Shemot. You know. So that's what I was trying to go with the lady here, uh, Berta, and grabbed her names and everything, because Berta didn't necessarily had only 2 stars for that of health, and her health was 2 stars. And so I'm saying all this right here to be mindful what we speak, to be mindful, be mindful, have our due diligence, and especially, as the intention, the intention, you know, as when I stepped out, back to the astrology and sextile and everything, you know what I'm saying, which one over 2 houses and everything, 2 houses. What happens is, with my last wife, she was actually 21st of May, which is only 1 month that of 21st of June, which same thing at June, which is mine. And so we were kind of close. We were kind of close on that. Not kind of close. We were too damn close. She did go into Gemini, but her Gemini was very different than my fucking Gemini. And I wanted to go ahead and do the same thing, in a sense of, even if we work through whatever it is that we needed to work through, that we even did this, even right here, to where people can go ahead and see the process. So, as Lady Molly, she was going ahead and breaking it down to where she's telling you the process and writing books. And that's a beautiful thing. Even the process of coming into, this arena here, she should be, they should have, well, they're not going to do this because, of course, I haven't ran across too many people yet that has the plethora of information in different directions and so forth, and it's not just a 3-card Molly, on a fucking street corner to go ahead and say, yeah, you go up here, right here, but this right, hold up, shoot, and then, throw the card up there to where, or how this shit is, and then because you know who because you do have somewhat form of a gift of gab, and pretty much just the level of CCCTV to reach in and look on at individuals. And we have, it's different levels and everything because you on somebody's TV too. Trust me, you on somebody's TV too. Like you say, brother had one brother from fucking Sri Lanka. And he was saying how his family was like level five, or I think it was 4 or 5. Different levels. It's different levels. It's different levels. Just for the CCTV. So you are somebody's fucking TV show too. Trust me. Trust me. And the main TV show that it is it doesn't necessarily even matter. I kid you not. Just like if you're on somebody's property, as the brother told me and everything, how the lady came and she lived there before, and she was like not. It will. You're gonna know. You're gonna know. You're gonna know. You're gonna get. It's gonna be one of them get out moments, and you'll know to get the fuck on out, or cut that shit off, or stop, or not to fuck with that girl, not to fuck with that dude, not to fuck with that little boy, not to utilize the little girls thing to go ahead and get about the city because it might have been some other shit that people was coming at a motherfucker. It just might have been. But you still can learn the, astrocartography to go ahead and get to the better vibrations and so forth. But if we're still doing the same type of shit, same type of things, then those things, they're gonna come right after you. So with that right there, I just want to encourage everyone to go ahead and be about your business. Be about remembering. Be about remembering. Be about the present, which is the present future. And although we're at different stages right now, we're still all going, no one can steal our destinies. No one can steal our destinies. Okay? Even if you go down here and you perish a poor person, place, or thing, or one of them, or a poor you don't necessarily have monetary things to go ahead and get you through certain things. But because you have the energy, your energy is rich, all right? Your energy, your vibration is high, right? Your vibration is high. That your intention is correct. Your intention on things is there. Whether we know the words to speak the spell, or it be just it's unspoken. It's unspoken, and that goes right back to the more than words. Da, 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 da. More than words can say. More than words can say. So that's what I'll leave you with. I thank you for being exactly who you are. Being exactly who you are. Because without you, I couldn't be exactly who I am. Or who me be. Right? So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your day. And that's what I was going to say. Yeah, and I think I spoke on it, but it is far and wide to where you, I mean, even with people that have 400K, 500K, 800K, there's a lot of people that are not teaching. You might have that because of who you know, who you are, what family you come from, and you have your platforms like that. And it's not to say that you don't necessarily have the gift or the present. The present. I'd rather say present. Again, gift is poison in German. You don't have that present, that present uh, contract that you sign, you know, to go ahead and teach some things. And it might be not, you don't have to even consider yourself a teacher, but share some things, you know. It's not, honestly, it's not, I haven't seen too many Mollies on here. I've seen maybe, I haven't gone into them, but this is my first one. And what I mean by that she shows you the processes, you know? She actually shares with you the processes in which, how it took her to go ahead and get to these certain junctures in life and everything. And nobody does that over here. I don't care if it was, who was that, Soulful Revolution. And I'm not naming things in a negative, to say anything negative and everything. I'm saying just the ones, we function. Everybody can function on some things. But I haven't seen it, and what it is like, I could see why even her numbers are like that. And other people's are even higher. Is because the information that she puts out, she's hitting it right away too. She got it somebody, but she does better. Me myself, I go ahead and when it gets to that point, things will change. Things can change. But as the umpire said, call it how you see it. Call it how you see it. All right? Call it how you see it. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been calling it how I see it. It is not necessarily how I operate either. That's not necessarily how I operate. But a lot of times, we got to do what we got to do. And so when that happens and everything, it ends up being, it is what it is. And I'm saying all this right here to say, when we can get past a lot of different things that we're either going through, whether it be relationships, whether it be the job place, whether it be the hunt to meet that benchmark, to get that bonus, whether it be to write your own book, okay? Or even, I'm pretty sure a lot of people right now are writing the books as people are speaking them, like right now, okay? Even for their livelihood, and they can put it in so many different ways. And hey, we are to go ahead and give each other different things to do exactly what it is that we need to do in order to go ahead and not get through this thing called life, but in order to go ahead and be, all right, vibrate at the highest, at our highest, okay? Then the more that we go into the sharing part, the teaching part, those things are going to be more beneficial for everyone. And that's whether it be, I know a lot of people are learning underground on things and everything. So they come out and bam, you know what I'm saying? Or they're slid into positions and everything, which a lot don't necessarily deserve. And because of simply time and grade, age, okay? It's just experience. Has nothing to do with gray hair, it's just experience. And we might have some young people that don't know gray hairs at all and be fire. Exceptionally fire. And so don't get it twisted, don't get it fooled, don't fool ourselves into thinking, hey, whatever DeVere's talking about right now, that is not going to apply to me. Don't get it fooled. Don't get it twisted. Yeah? Don't get it twisted. Because everyone is called to a higher level, or everyone will be pulled back down to the lower level, that's for sure. Because that in-between shit, that even it tells you, even inside of the seven churches, it says, because, I think it was Laodicea, it says, because you were lukewarm, I spew you out of my mouth. Because you were luke fucking warm. So, he said, you're all the way good, or all the way bad. Ain't no in between. Ain't no in between. So, that's what I would encourage you to do. Be all the way good, be all the way bad. And so therefore, even if you see in between, now if we walk the middle path, meaning we are balanced, that's the difference. We're balanced. So let us go ahead and do that and the best that we can. All right? Let us go do the best that we can, because that time is right now. Time is right now. This is the 9 year. All right? Anyways, let me get on out of here. You guys take care. Thank you for loving me. I love you. Even though you may hate my guts. And I'm going to keep loving you. All right? You guys take care. Ciao.